Well, here we are back in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War with my how does this run on the Xbox Series S review. So you've got to understand where I've come from with this particular viewpoint, in the fact that I had Black Ops Cold War on the PlayStation 4. In fact, when I bought it back in November 2020, I bought the cross-gen version with the idea that it would be relatively simple to get hold of a PlayStation 5, probably after Christmas, you know, when the rush was had died down a bit. Obviously, it proved to be impossible to get hold of a PlayStation 5, and I ended up taking a bit of a punt on an Xbox Series S, which since that point I have been incredibly happy with this smaller next-gen console from Microsoft, and I mean incredibly happy. I couldn't be happier. It plays older games better than the PlayStation 5 does, with frame rate boost. You've got Game Pass, you know, so there's lots of games available. It works really well. Yeah, it's a really nice little box. However, it was kind of always eating away at me, the fact that Call of Duty is one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel. It's one of my favourite games. I think when a Call of Duty is good, you know, they are among the best video games ever made. They do have a limited life cycle though in terms of the multiplayer, because in order for a Call of Duty multiplayer to be good, you need to have lots of people playing it, so there's a good spread of skill. You know, after a couple of years, the problem you then get is the people who are left playing it tend to be very, very good, and if you come in as a casual player, it can be very challenging. Also, I was kind of thinking, you know, is it really going to be playing that much better on the Series S than it would on the PlayStation 4? Because Call of Duty always aims in the multiplayer to hit 60 frames a second. This is, you know, back from the Xbox 360. They want 60 frames a second to give you that excellent multiplayer experience. And the way that they do that is they use adaptive resolution. So if you want to, you know, if the aspects of a game, the visuals, is based all around frame rate and resolution, if your frame rate has got to be 60 frames a second, and then the game has a difficult scene to render with lots of smoke, lots of fire, lots of objects, lots of players on the screen, the resolution has to drop down, and that's how they do it. So when you were playing on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, when things got busy, you wouldn't be playing at 1080p, you'd be playing at probably 720, you know, it would drop down, and that's why things, you probably didn't notice, but things would start to look a little bit fuzzy, especially around the edges. But I'm incredibly happy to report that what you get with the Series S when you're running it at 1080p 60 frames a second on a TV, which is kind of the reason why you buy a Series S. You know, if you've got a 4K TV, you probably should buy a Series X, because that's native 4K. With the Series S, isn't it? It's native 1440p that scale up to 4K. But at 1080p, it's rocking 60 frames a second, and the difference is that it is a solid 1080p, like all of the time. There may be the occasional frame rate drops. You know, I haven't got a frame rate monitor, but what you notice as soon as you fire up the game and you start playing the multiplayer is this crispness to the image at all times. I mean, the first thing you've probably got to do is turn off motion blur. But there's always this crispness that you get when you go back to, and I did this a few times, go back to the PlayStation 4 and play it. There's this slight sort of softness that comes into the image, where on the on the Series S, sorry, it is just crisp 1080p, rock solid, seemingly all of the time. And so, you know, in my opinion, Black Ops Cold War runs very, very well on the Series S, and I'm really happy that I invested the extra £30, because I got it in the sale, to play this Call of Duty in the run-up to the next Call of Duty World War II Vanguard, which will be coming out again probably in November, which is a few months away from, not that long actually, from where we are now. You may well have seen my other video where I ask, is it worth buying this game cheap? And I think if you've got last gen consoles and you know you didn't buy the next gen version when you bought Cold War, or you've changed platforms like I have from PlayStation to Xbox, I think if you are a big fan of Call of Duty, I think Black Ops Cold War is going to be one of those games that people, I think they're going to play it for years to come, in the same way games like Black Ops 2 were played for an awful long time. Now, I know that in previous videos I've talked a lot about Modern Warfare 2019 and how I felt that really got Call of Duty back on the really got it back on the right path in terms of the way that the multiplayer mechanics should work. However, Modern Warfare 2019 was a more defensive type of Call of Duty, and the sound engine isn't as good as it is in Cold War. In Cold War, you've got a real three-dimensional sound engine, so you can tell whether people are above and below you. Where the Modern Warfare 2019 engine isn't quite as good at that. Sometimes it's a bit confusing where people are coming from. So I think Cold War is one of those Call of Duties that you should have in your collection anyway, and you should buy it when it goes cheap and add it to that. But as I say, it runs very, very nice on the Xbox Series S. I'm very much looking forward to putting in lots of hours playing it. I have so much fun playing this game. The Series S on the PlayStation 4, sorry, the Call of Duty Cold War on the PlayStation 4, I prestiged within 2 days, I think it was, maybe 3 days. I think I played it for a weekend and I prestiged on the Monday, which I've never done in a Call of Duty. I was just enjoying playing Domination as well, just loving playing Domination all the time. So it really rewards a kind of a thoughtful but aggressive gameplay, a fast-moving gameplay, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm probably going to put an awful lot of hours into Black Ops on the Series S as well, even though I'm starting from scratch again, having to unlock all the weapons and all the attachments and all that sort of stuff. So there we go. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. How does one run on an Xbox Series S? Very well, thank you very much, and I'm very pleased indeed. Anyway, that's enough from me. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down below, and I will see you again soon.
Enemy has C.
Drop them.
A lockdown.